Great. Okay. Well, this is what I look like, and
Hello, Michael. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing well, and thank you for asking. So let's go to share my screen. This is a new system for us, and they gave me an overview, but I'm still learning. bear with me right here. Okay. Okay, are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, so what we're going to do is a lot of our systems will work for a smartphone, and it will also work for a desktop, a laptop, and a tablet. So there's something you may do that a desktop or a laptop or a tablet might be more effective for. There's only a handful of things. But for the most part, 98% of what you're going to be able to do, you can do remotely right from your phone.
Okay.
So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to jump into Messenger so I can get all the passwords that I temporarily set up for you. Or I should say shared with you, because really technically the IT people did that. So give me 1 second here. Default. Maybe I should do that. Okay. So first thing I want to do is even though you're watching my screen, it may be helpful on your end to bookmark some of the websites that we're going to, because you'll reference them later on your own, or just write them down. Either way that you want to do it is fine. So the first thing we're going to do is I want to do where you would go to get access to your Rescue Team Properties email address. And you can go to the email address by using Bluehost directly on a computer, or there's a free app you can put on your smartphone called Blue Mail. And in the messenger here, this would be the email address where I'm pointing right now, and then this was the temporary password. And you can certainly change the password later, but just to show you how to get into your email account if you're ever on a computer or anywhere else, is we would simply just go to bluehost.com. You can click on login here. This would be, here again, just to log in directly to the website. And then you would click webmail login. Mine's going to auto-populate here, but then just put in the user, the Shelly Hunt at rescueteamproperties.com, copy and paste the password and drop it here. And that's going to get you.
So it's all lowercase, Shelly Hahn.
Ma'am.
It's Shelly Hahn what? It's
Shelly.Hahn at rescueproperties.com. And
Hahn. There's a dot between Shelly and Hahn?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Shelly.Hahn rescue
at rescueteamproperties.com.
At rescue. .com. Okay.
And then the password in there is, the best way to do is to copy and paste the password that's on this chain email. Are you able to see that? I'll put a little space by it.
Well, the print is so small, I'm having trouble seeing that on there, so I'm trying to write it down.
Okay. Let me see if I can just Let me just see if I can. Sorry, my children in the background. Let me see if I can share that. So this would password. I'll see if I can make it bigger so you can.
Do I need to go to that website that you're talking about, or is that just one that you're telling me that?
I'm just telling you that's going to be one that you would go to. There's going to be when we put together your being able to be a brand user, you'll be advertising your business using the branding of Rescue Team Properties. And so just to make it match better, we give you a hosted email account, and that's going to have your own email account in there. What that's really for would be, well, there's a website that we set up for you, and I'm going to go through where that is. And in that website, if someone was to, let's say, go to the website and they filled out a form for being a seller, a buyer, maybe a private money lender, then the email, your first and last name and followed by Rescue Team Properties is going to put them auto-respond. So we're basically co-branding your name with our business because they're working with you and it's for your benefit, it's your business.
Right.
And so that's why we set up that way. I just want to let you know that you do have an email account and you can access that either Bluehost here directly, or you can download on your smartphone the Blue Mail app. So that's going to be the Blue Mail app. From the App Store. And that would work directly on your phone. You just plug in the username and password. Now, the password can change, so once you log in, you can change the password, and no one accesses that except you.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So that's the email side. The second main thing that we use to get you access to is going to be our real estate software. And the software is what we use to with everybody so that we could then provide deal mentorship. We also provide the leads and marketing materials, and it's a central database of things that happen to files so that while you're getting information on your end and we're getting information on our end, we can collaborate remotely right through the software. So I'm going to show you how to get to that software. I'll also put it in the messenger so that you have it as well. But the fastest way to our software is to type in, the name of the software is called reallyflow.com. And here we go. Now, ReallyFlow is not just because we're not in the software business. We don't own Real. We have a relationship with ReallyFlow. And what we do with ReallyFlow is we have customized a lot of it for our own business purposes. Okay. And then here I'm going to grab your password and put it in here as well, the temporary password. And so with this password and that, this should get us into ReallyFlow. So this is what your screen should look like. And you'll put in your first last name at rescueteamproperties.com, a temporary password, and that should get us into ReallyFlow. I'm going to show you where you would go to change your password. Okay. So this is going to be your account. I'm logged into your account temporarily. And so right here where it has your name in the upper right-hand corner here, underneath Profile, this is where you would go to change your password.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Now, I will say there's a lot of different things with our software, so we're not wanting to overwhelm you tonight with a bunch of software.
Right.
And I don't need you to learn the software. That's not why I'm providing software. We use the software at different stages of a process. Just going to go over tonight with you some very basic things I want you to start with.
Okay.
All right, because I'm really not interested in overwhelming you with just knowing how the software works. What I am interested in doing is getting you up to speed, which will take a few sessions together to do that. And certainly by learning inside of doing deals, which is what we're ultimately trying to do here.
Right.
We want to get you up and running where you know where the leads are, how to market for leads, you have access to business cards, and then you know where your website is, we're driving traffic to your website, and all those things necessarily working together is what brings in opportunities for properties so that we can get you in a position as an investor to buy those properties and sell those properties at a profit.
Okay.
But we do some baby steps, so this is not, we're not trying to eat the entire elephant all tonight.
Right.
Okay? All right. But I just want to get you a general flow. So when you're in the website here, you're going to see addresses that are in here. You'll see recent contacts. This is a shared software program where all of our brand licensees are sharing the same system, but the files are assigned to each individual user. So if the lead came in, whether you put the lead in directly or it came in through your website or we assigned you a lead because we have leads that come in all the time, then when you log in, these will have some leads that see in your recent properties here should be your properties that you're working on. Okay. So from this screen here, what I want to show you is, because we have to work on at this particular moment, how do we get you started in the game? And I just want to show you some easy things that you could begin to do right now. So if you look at Really Flow here, on the left-hand side, it's going to be like master the master way of working in our business management. So what we're looking at here is we want to go over here called lead pipes. This is where everyone would start. Inside lead pipes, we have what's called property leads. I'm going to pull up here so you can see what this looks like.
Hang on just 1 second.
Sure. No problem.
Hey, one's only calling from the folder. Right, Jerry. Just so that he can get on till 9.
Okay, I'm here. I'm sorry, sir.
Yeah, no worries. That's fine. And I'm excited to have you on board, Shelley.
Oh, I am too.
I talked with Josh and Christina recently, and very excited. And so, it's just great. We're here and we're looking to continue to expand as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. All right. So what you're looking at here, when we went to lead pipes in that left-hand side, this brings you to the interface of finding every lead to be what we would consider motivated to sell. We purchase all the databases that all of our brand users use, and then we filter it down to would consider property have a primary problem, maybe a secondary problem, sometimes third, and so we will have so. We feel like every has a unique story. So in this bar right here, we can for lead by the county, city, by all the way down to an address. Fun. Remind me, what county are you in?
I'm in Canadian County, but I live close to Oklahoma County and Cleveland County. I mean, I live close enough to a lot of different little counties.
Okay, great. So which county would you like for tonight, for our training tonight, what county would you like us to work with?
Let's go with Oklahoma County.
Okay. And that's going to be a very large county, but we'll work with it.
Oh, do you want to do Grady County then? I don't know.
Either one's fine. Yeah, really, we could work with all of them. No, Oklahoma County, I'm not objecting by any means. I think that's exciting.
Yeah, Oklahoma County.
Okay. Let's see here. What is enough for me? County.
Is anybody give us print paper?
Let's see, why is it not pulling up?
Oh, I can't see it. Why can it be dark like that? I can't even.
What? What happened? No.
Shelley Hahn.
I shall come back.
Okay, now the map popped up.
I was able to sync it. So the map will show up. Now here again is your right here, and if we just put in, I didn't get the sync for the Oklahoma County, but I did pull up the Oklahoma, which is also in the county. So in this map here, look over here, 200 opportunities, but we want to drill down to a little bit deeper than that. So let me show you the things that we can do to get you in a position where you're starting for a lot of new investors like this. New investors, and there's always exceptions to the rule. There could be a hesitancy sometimes to put up a lot of money and credit and resources to do a deal. Sometimes the starting line is, hey, I just want to make money first, then I'll look at maybe doing some other strategies like flipping and all that stuff. So when we look at that, we have to look at, for most new investors, the starting line is, how do I position myself as an investor to buy something with no money out of pocket, no per credit, and put myself in a position to be able to sell that contract, let's say, without repairing it, and make a sizable profit, a significant profit. Well, in order to do that, you have to align the offer as the investor with someone that has a problem, a big enough problem, that it makes sense for them to enter into a contract to do that. Starting points on that starting line. In the upper right-hand side here, the lead type down from this 199,000 people. We can market to people that are absentee owners. Now, they may or may not be motivated to sell, so we're not going to start there. Cash buyer when looking to sell something. Free and clear can be motivated to sell. Could be an inheritance. Could be a probate, which is part of the inheritance. Could be for medical reasons, downsizing, upsizing. But we don't always get real of sale that way. High equity sometimes is motivated to sell, sometimes. But the bottom three, low equity, upside down, and foreclosures, seem to be the ones that have the most overlapping, where an investor can enter into a contract with no money or personal credit. So the highest probability of doing that quickly is going to be to work with people that are in this foreclosure box.
Okay.
So immediately, when we make that selection, and here again, we do 26 different strategies. So for most people are starting on a line where their motivation is to make money with not putting a lot of money to the table, though we have to has a lot of problems, and they need to sell quickly, and they're open to creative options. And when we pair those problem and solution together, then that's when contracting happens for no money. But we want to drill down even further. So we went from 199,000 possibilities down to 65, 59 possibilities. So that's first. We want to drill down a little bit further so that you're marketing the people that are more targeted. So what we're going to do next, we're going to come over here to Advanced Search, and we're going to click on that button. And we're going to drill down and kind of weed out some stuff. So we want to say we want to work with individual. We want to work with someone who's either owner-occupied. They could be an absentee owner. They can be an owner that is out of state. And we want to work, in this case, we're going to just start the conversation here on a single-family home. We can do these same strategies on a condo, townhome, multifamily, apartment, land, mobile home park, industrial. And we can do all that. But starting out for your first deal, we want to work with an individual that's not presented by a realtor, whether they live there or don't live there, and it's a single-family home. And then we're going to apply the filter there. And then that's going to drop it down even further. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now what we're looking to do is, now that that's drilled down, we're going to go back to the advanced search. I'm going to drill down just a little bit further, because to market to 3,500 people in one shot is quite a bit to be exposed. So we want to drill down a little bit further. We're going to say, listen, we don't want to look at buying anything that we have to deal with lead-based paint. So if the house is built after 1978, we don't have to deal with lead-based paint. And so we go ahead and throw that filter in, just throw it down a little further. Now we're dealing with 173 potential opportunities. These are people that are in pre-foreclosure. If a person is in pre-foreclosure, and what I mean by pre-foreclosure is this: typically a foreclosure is going to start on the 91st day of a consecutive late payment. These are the people that are in some level of a pre-foreclosure. If we get to the property and the people are open to seeing creatively, and they're 90 days past, there's lots of options that we can do where we can contract this with no money and not have to spend any money on the transaction. Okay? But we have to find those people. So what we want to do now is, I just want to show you just some examples of what we can do. Number one is, we could easily select all. In this upper right-hand corner, we can say, you know what? Instead of doing any more drilling down, I want to market to everybody on this list. And you can certainly do that if you want to. But let's just say that was in what you wanted to do. So we said, okay, I want to select everything. Okay. Or if you didn't want to select everything and you wanted to go into each individual file and look at them, then you can say, well, I don't want to really be looking at buying anything in the $300,000 range at this point. I kind of want to stay in the sweet spot of what's selling, for middle America. I don't want to be in these high selling things. And so you can go through and you can really pick which records you would like to market to. So either way is fine. So let's say in this case that you selected a handful of properties, and you come over to the next step in the process. You have two options, or really there's three options to market to these individuals. Number one option is, if for the sake of time to get marketing going to them, you can come into Build My Campaign, and you can collect from all my results, which is everything that you select. It would be the whole list or just part of the list. Then from here, we're going to name the campaign just so that you know what it is. So I would just put your initials here, and you might go, I tend to just want to put this is pre-foreclosures. And then I usually will throw a date in here just so I know when did I do this. And now we're going to go through a few steps here to market to those people if you want to use our direct mail system. And so what's going to happen is you're going to put this in here. And you can select on the campaign. The campaign could be, I want to mail a letter, I want to mail a postcard, I want to mail a 2-part letter, I want to mail a 3-part letter. So you can order, if you wanted to, up to 5 touches on the list that you want to market to. I would recommend that if it's the first batch going out, sometimes people move, sometimes they don't leave a forwarding address. So I don't want you to pay for 5 touches when we're going to learn whether or not which ones were not delivered for whatever reason. So I don't want you to spend extra money that's not necessary. So I would say a 1 touch on your first campaign. Then you're going to come in here to the creative, and this is where you're going to be able to select, well, who is my target audience that I'm trying to market to? So in this case, we're marketing the people that we know are classified for foreclosure. And then from here, you're going to be able to select what the letter is. Now, this is just a very generic letter, just to get things in process. You can specify a letter that's a 5.5 or a full-size letter. We have postcards, and we also have one that looks like it's personally penned. And they can have doodling and all kinds of things. So I usually will do an 8.5 by 11. I usually like the red ink. And then we have 4 different letter options that are in here. And you can certainly click and preview each one and see how the template looks and feels, and select which template that you'd like to use. Now, what we do that's a little bit different than a lot of people, I mean, you see a lot of stuff out there that's advertised. We do advertise for people for a few things. Number one is we advertise that we'll buy the property as is. We typically take care of all closing costs, which a lot of people don't do that, but we do. We just build it into the numbers. So whatever that number is that we may contract with that party at the end is the number that they're going to put in their pocket. And people like to have that peace of mind that if it does go according to plan, they're not going to have to fool with anything outside of just this contract. And then we basically handle everything. So I like letter number 2 because it's not so generic, but it's a little bit more like we're buying it as is and we can solve people's problems. The next step is, here's the letter postage. If you want to use standard postage, that's fine. If you wanted to get there a little faster, and then you pay just a little bit more, so it might get there a little bit faster. Okay. Then it's going to show you for mailing number 1, letter 8.5, the price per piece to mail and the number of pieces. Now, in this case, sample purposes only, if we were to market 773 pieces, this is what it would cost for a one-time mailing.
Right.
So you can certainly specify, what the budget may be for your business to put out. I'm not going to complete a whole purchase. I'm just going to show you what this is for an example.
Right.
Then from here, the next step is to personalize. And this is where you will put your name. You would want to put your phone number, your email address, and then your website. And the website that we created for you is called sellnow405.com.
Sell now?
Yeah, the website that we created for you that will drive traffic to you. And certainly you can pick another domain, but for right now we have a temporary one that we'll set you with. And it's called sellnow405. So we would just put your email address in. Here, so everything matches. We would go ahead and drop your phone number in here, which is going to be, and it's up to you on your phone number. You could give people your personal cell phone number, or we would recommend if setting up a secondary number on your phone, a free one like Google Voice, or there's an app on the smartphone you can get called Sideline, and it will give you a free telephone number. So it doesn't matter to us what number you want to use. It's just if you want to put another number in there, you certainly can. So these fields are optional. You can change the fields. And then you want to go ahead and put Rescue Team Properties and see you got our address here. And then you can put in a return address that you would like to use for mail.
Okay.
Okay. All right. And let me go ahead just for fun. And here again, I'm not going to process a whole order, but I just want to show you how this would work. Okay. Now it's always going to come to the, once you fill out all that information, it's going to always come to a confirmation of the order. And then the next step, what it will do is it will come to what's called the purchasing of the order, okay? Of which then we just would certify here that everything is what we want it to be, when it will be produced, and when the mail should be delivered, okay? And then when we hit the submit order button, okay, it's going to then come to a credit card form here. What you would do is you're going to drop in a new card on file. You would put your information in here, and then you would confirm the order. At the end of the night, we go in every night and we will delete the credit card on file that was used. So we don't store your credit card information. Okay? So all of our brand users have different cards on file, but we just we delete that information so it's not just sitting in here. Okay? So that's gonna be one way. That's just one way. I got many different ways and all different ways for people to begin. But this is one way to market, whether you want to send out 1 letter, 2 letters, 100 letters, 50 letters. If that was in your budget, you can determine that. This is an easy way to do this on a Friday afternoon, and it goes out the next week to get your marketing in front of people in that particular area.
Okay.
Do you have any questions so far on this particular point?
No.
Okay, great. So what we're going to do is I'm not going to save that order. We're just going to cancel that one. Okay, so what I want to show you too that you can do, so using the same information, I'm going to go back to the lead pipes, go back to the property leads. We go back into. I want to show you a few of the things that we can do. Now, I have some other ways that are low cost, but very, very, successful. And so, what we can do, let me go back to the same thing that we were doing in the drill down. Yeah. In this example here, if you, let's say, select all, wanted to, market to this entire, range of properties. I'm using very extremes. You can certainly pick how small, big, or what areas you want to work. It's completely up to you. But let's say we were to select all of that, we could then do a couple things here. We could go and we could export this list. And by exporting, just do standard, it would export it into an Excel spreadsheet. Okay. And what I want to do is I want to walk you through how to use our Driving for Dollars app, which is an app that you can download onto your smartphone that we provide to you, which allow you to, if you didn't, let's say it wasn't in the budget to market that way, but you wanted to say, I'm going to take a different route from work home, and you route it, let's say the foreclosed or upside down properties or low equity properties, and I'll go to the lead pipe file here. Okay. I'm not sure on your smartphone right now. If you can go into the App Store for me while this is loading. If you go into your App Store, are you on a Apple or an Android?
Android.
Okay, I'm on Android as well. So if you go into the Play Store, the app that I want you to download is called Deal Machine. And I want you to download that app to your phone.
Okay.
Okay. All right. And then I'm going to, using Messenger, I'm going to send you the username and password to log in we call it Driving for Dollars, which is what it's for. But we leverage Deal Machine app technology to do that. So 1 second, let me go ahead and get you that information here. If I'm going too fast, please just let me know. So while that's being set up here, we have the login instructions inside of our Facebook group, and it's underneath our what we call units. And so I'm gonna just copy and paste that for you so that you then use that information to get in to the app.
Okay.
1 second here. Okay, so this will be for Deal Machine. This is really a cool app. How this has been developed for our company. A lot of our users use it. They have a lot of success with it. It makes things super easy. And I think you're going to really find how cool it is in just a moment here. Okay, so I just sent that to you in the Messenger. And so this would be the username to log in, and then this would be the password to get into Deal Machine. Okay. If you can use the username and password information, can you please log in for me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So when you first log in the Deal Machine, the way the app works is the application works with your phone's GPS. So there's a couple different ways that you can use that. So let's just take it from a random standpoint. Let's say you took a different route from home, or you had an appointment somewhere and you were there early, so you drive by and you go, I'm just going to pop in that neighborhood. And you're driving around the neighborhood, and you see the house that is overgrown grass, looks like it has deferred maintenance, or something about it tells you, there's got to be something going on with this property. So what you would do is you would use on your phone the log into the deal machine app here, and the phone would then sync in your location. And the app is going to ask you to take a picture of the home that you're looking at right now in present tense. So you'll take the picture with your phone. Then the app is going to GPS your location with that address, and it will ask you to click on a button that says Enhanced Search. It only happens if you're in front of a house or a property for that matter. And it will ask you for Enhanced Search. And then once you click that button, the app is going to pull in the name of the owner, the owner's mailing address, different than where this house is. It's going to also bring in the phone number and maybe an email address. And the app will allow you to either call the seller directly, potential seller, or shoot them a text message or send them an email right to your phone. So what that does is it puts you in instead of, let's say, property, how we used to do it back in the day is property, write down the address, snap a photo, and then have to come back and do like an hour worth of due diligence. Tell them to knock on their door. So we can do that now with the app.
Right.
Okay. You're on right now. Do you see the picture property? It will Thomas Martin.
Which one?
Let me see if I can show it to you. So the first house on the app.
The first house that Thomas Martin?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So just for an example, I want to show you what it looks like. Say that this was your property that you found, let's say. And let's say we clicked it open on here. Now in this case, someone in our community found this one. So what has happened is we started, when you take the photo of the property and you hit the Enhanced Search, it immediately it will take the picture that you took at that spot, and it will put that person on a 4-week cycle postcarding system automatically. Okay? If we click, where I'm going to click now, Enhanced Search. So when I click the Enhanced Search now, it pulls up. I'm not sure if you can see it on your phone. If you open up the Enhanced Search, it's going to show the 4 mailing addresses, and it's going to show the owner's phone number at the very bottom. And so from here, the user here had selected to mail to them, so that's already happening. And then here again from the phone number, the user could then a link for the phone number and then begin and see if you can get the seller, Mr. Martin, let's say in this case, on the phone and ask them if they may be interested in a conversation about selling their property.
Right.
Okay. Right. So if we, and here again, if we made contact with the seller, the process in this case would be, just so you know, this app is separate at this particular time from our Really Flow system. So what we would do is, if this was, let's say, your deal, just for an example, we would come back into our we would come right back into Really Flow. I'll show you how to add a property. So we would come back to the main screen for Really Flow, and we can click right here where it says Add a Property to the Queue. And so what we would do is if let's say Mr. Barton Steele was the one that you were working on, you were engaging that seller, we would drop that information into here. And we would drop that information right, like I said, in the system, and we would go ahead and save that into Really Flow. The moment that that property is saved in Really Flow, it immediately will open up the screen, and now we have some details about the property that we maybe didn't know, because the system is pulling in the tax data into our file.
Okay.
Okay. Now, once this is in the file here, like in this case, I created this underneath, just for an example here, underneath, because you created the file, it's going to timestamp whoever entered in the file. Or if we learned that this, and here again, we monitor a lot of this, we learned that this was your file, etc. We're going to add you in here as one of our managers of the file, because this is your file, let's say. So what happens is when we click on an address in our system, it opens up the file, and then we can begin to work on that file. So over here, what we have is what's called the activity log. So what we do in the activity log is like, you know, I talked to the seller, I mailed them something, I have an appointment set, whatever. Those are going to just be like the activity of the file. It's just kind of like a, what's the latest and greatest. I might eventually, when I get you trained to a certain level, I might then be asking you questions in the activity log. Each tab over here is kind of like a digital folder. So you could put in property information. This is going to be public information that's coming in from the public records. Then this will be mortgage information. Now, some of this information, we may not know any of this until we talk to the seller. Once we are talking to the seller on the phone, there's a couple different ways to engage the seller. And I'm going to train you on that on another time. What do we say on the phone? But today's session is more about how do you get into things and where things are and get familiar with systems.
Right.
Later this week, we'll set up another talk for another session where I can go through what do we say on the phone? Where do we document that? How do we do due diligence? We're going to start talking about more of the mechanics of real estate investing.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So, but just to get familiar with this, so anytime we get information from the seller or third-party source, I'm training everyone just from a system standpoint to get that information and to put it into the digital folder here that you can see it, I can see it, and my other coaches can see it, and this way we can help you move the deal forward.
Right.
Okay?
Okay.
If we end up doing negotiations with the seller, we're going to document the seller asking for the property, and we'll go through filling out all the information. The more information that we have, the better we can come up with an offer that makes sense for all parties.
All right.
So that's just opening up the folder. Now, I will also say this. Let me show you how we got into that folder. So if I go back to, let's say, hit here for the home screen, I could always search for the property directly, or if it's a brand new folder and a lead came in, click on it, and it's going to bring me right back to this screen. All of the tabs on the left-hand side here, these tabs are anytime we gather information. So, for example, if we want to pull comps at some point, we want to get a repair general estimate of what it's going to take to repair the property. We want to analyze some numbers. We want to document. All of these micro tabs on the left-hand side are tied directly to this case file and only this case file. So if this is open here, anything we fill out here is only tied to this case file. So like, for example, documents. Any documents that we upload or add that deal with this particular property is going to be underneath this case file.
Okay.
Okay. All right. The next thing I just want you to get familiar with is going to be underneath what we call manage. Inside of manage is where we're going to have a lot of the loose documents that you can grab and use as you need to, and I want to show you where some of that documentation is, and you're welcome to use it when you need it. So if we go into manage and we go to documents, these are going to be document folders of things that you have access to where you can access the documents. So in some of our training videos that you may have been watching, they may have referenced documents or a folder. This is where they are.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm not going to go into all of that now, but you're welcome to bounce around in it. Some of them you'll be like, what is this for? Don't worry about it. We're going to cover it. You'll be up to speed in no time. But where we're starting is in marketing templates. So I just want to go through some other marketing options that you have. So if you click on marketing templates, we have developed postcards, bulletin board flyers, door hangers, letters for sale by owner. So if you're driving by the road and you see a for sale by owner, you could either use your Deal app on your phone, or if you want to mail them a for sale by owner letter, you can get that there. Other marketing materials, we do have some other more pre-foreclosure letters. We have letters for vacant houses, and we have letters that can go to like warm market. And all of our training videos, when it talks about marketing, will reference letter may go for that marketing strategy. And then the other thing I want to share in ReallyFlow is, and here again, you could always ask a question or whatever. You always call me, text me, shoot me an email. That's fine. But if there's something where, let's say, you're in the software and you got stuck in just how the software may function, there's what's called a knowledge base, and it's got some tutorials in there and some very short videos on maybe how to look at something, and in terms of the software itself. Okay. Any questions so far?
No, sir.
Okay. Is it making a little bit of sense, like how to access different things?
Yes.
Okay, great. So let me show you here what comes to your software, and we have developed for you. We have assigned this website now405.com. What this is going to be used for, you could really use this all the time. This is.
I lost you.
Well, are you not able to see the screen?
Yeah, now there you go.
Okay.
$1.
Yeah. So what you're looking at right here is the www.sellnow405.com, and that the in conjunction with materials, cards, any type of social media advertising that we're going to get into. And what we're doing here is that we're going to be drawing traffic to either call you or and ask, or they're going to come to the landing page, this website that we've created. And the website is designed to educate and motivate them to submit information on the property that they want to sell. And then when they fill out one of these forms, that information is going to automatically populate into Flow automatically. And that lead will automatically be assigned to you as a file.
Okay.
Okay. Now, behind the scenes on what is being sent to them is what's called the auto response. The best way to set may look like is if you wanted to put your information in, maybe use a personal account and just put in a dummy file, then you'll get an autoresponder and you can see the content that's going on if you ever wanted to look at that. But that's what it is. But this website is designed to get motivated sellers to fill out a form so that we can then, in the process of evaluating the property and meeting with them, and we can put some deals together.
All right.
Okay, so let's go into the next thing that I'm going to share with you, which is where do you go to order marketing materials like business cards if you want it, or if you want a mug or whatever. We have an account that you can use. Now, we give you the template. You don't have to use Vistaprint if you don't. If you want to save time, you can use them. We don't make any money from them. They're in. They host our printed marketing materials. So we use the.
I'm not hearing you.
You're not able to hear me? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, now there.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Vistaprint.
Vistaprint. I'll have to send you a username and password for this as well. You'll get an email on how to get into that. Okay. But I will, just so you're familiar, and this is all being recorded, so you can always watch it later. But we have Vistaprint, and log into Vistaprint. It's just username. It was set up many, many years ago. Bring us into the here, and this is where you'll have the opportunity so now let's say see the full portfolio. In fact, what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to show you how to create your business cards, and then I'll just save here, and then when if you want to, you can certainly log back in date and time, purchase that, and then put in your shipping address, and they'll ship this to you.
Okay.
And we're going to, now you can set up a separate different phone number. I would recommend doing that first, and then coming in here and I'll show you how to do a quick edit of this information.
Right.
Okay. So it's a template, and then we just put your information directly in that template, and then therefore you're able to use the brand effectively. And you can hand out the business cards, etc. So in this case, I'm going to change this out, Shelly. If you have an LLC created, have that created, that's fine. So we can move whether created or not. It's fine. It doesn't have to be on the chart. What we'll do is we'll in contract with Rescue Team Property, so you don't have to put your LLC.
Okay.
Unless you want. There are brands are concerned with, they want to put for over disclosure, that's fine, no problem with that. But really, if you looked at branding, so owning a business and business is the name of the business, not own the name of the business, you actually use the business. And this is how this is. Your phone number is 405 right now, and leave your phone number until if you your own, you can.
Right.
Then we'll come in here and we'll put in your email address. Here right now.
Does she need her medicine before I get off of here?
She didn't say anything about it.
Okay. He might go give her 2 Tylenol and tell her I'll give her the rest in a minute.
She should be fine. She didn't say she was hurting or anything.
Okay.
I'll just save that here. Okay. So I'm just going to save that in the portfolio. And I'll show you, if you click on my portfolio, it should be sitting here as number 1, and then you would click the edit, and you can make the changes, the necessary changes, that add your phone number, etc. And then you can order accordingly when you're ready.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes,
So that's how you get in there. And I'll send you. I'll access that.
So you're recording all of this so that I can go back and review everything we're doing
Yes,
tonight.
ma'am.
Yes,
Absolutely. Absolutely. So here again, I know this is a little bit more like tedious and a little technical and like the hoop type fun investing stuff. This just helps us get you in business and get familiar.
Right.
Like I said, I'm going to do more sessions with you, so we'll schedule that out, and we're going to get into how we really do real estate investing. But the software and the system helps me be able to make it more efficient in training and be there more effective. So bear with me on that. So that's Feast to Print. So yeah, you'll get a copy of the video just for references in the future.
Okay.
And then as far as supplement training goes, I'm not sure if I covered this or not, but I want to go ahead. In our Facebook group, underneath the word units here, this is where we have placed units in here where there are training videos. And they're designed to be very short and sweet, right to the point. And I really want to encourage you to go, if you haven't approved Unit 1, 2, and just kind of pay. There's no rush. You don't have to watch the testimonies or anything like that. If you want to listen to one or two, that's fine. How to market. This is designed just to be familiar with what we're trying to do. It seem a little foreign at first.
Right.
As we're working together, it will be, you'll understand it makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
But this is a way for you to kind of have a little foundation at your pace. And then I'm starting to understand some of the concepts that we're talking about, because as we're getting in, you need to know some. So you'll also go through Unit 5, like specialty marketing, direct mail. These are calling scripts. We did a little bit of the Driving for $1 app, but there's a video on. These are the top 10, and Unit 8 is 10 scenario phone calls that we have ever had from a seller that was in and needed to solve just every type of scenario you would think, and some of them were incredible stories that you wish on no person, but to these conversations and realize that we're really trying to help and make money at the same time, but we're all the fear. A lot of people have fear of talking to people, and there really is no fear when you're listening to these kind of stories. And then you can listen to our brand users and staff responded to people that were in these situations. Determine the repair value. So here again, these are training videos that build on each other on how to evaluate property. So this is where I'd like you to start in some training in between the time that we schedule our training sessions together.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
And that's in the R.T.P. Brand X in the Facebook.
And it's section underneath. Yes. On the hand side, it says units.
Okay.
That's what Facebook calls it. I can't change it. I think it's stupid, but that's what it says. That's what that says. But it's underneath units.
Okay.
So that is just to get you up and running, just a little bit of familiarity. And then what is your schedule like the rest of the week? When can I get back on for some?
I could probably do another session tomorrow evening.
Okay.
If that would work for you.
That should work. I am out in Muskogee tomorrow for sessions for most of the day. I should be back. We're going to do it a little earlier. What do you be good for you tomorrow evening? I can make that work.
Well, I might be able. Can I message you and see? I may be going in later to where I may be able to do it earlier, like around 11 tomorrow.
Yeah, I won't be able to do that tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm going to be in Muskogee.
Muskogee. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to be in Muskogee because one of the brand users commercial property. We have inspections tomorrow, and they're from 10 to 4. We have all these contractors come in getting bids to see whether or not this or not.
Right.
So I won't be able to train between that time. Why don't we touch base with me on Messenger? Just kind of get.
Okay. Let me look at my schedule and what's going on, and then I'll get with you. I'll send you a message through Messenger.
Okay, that sounds good. Sounds good. All right. You have a wonderful thing. Take your time. I'm excited to be working with you, especially in the Oklahoma City area. And then I'll get video out to you in the next day or two.
Okay. Sounds great.
All right. Have a great night, Shelley. Thank you.
You too. Thank you.